Ladies and gentlemen, Suds and Sports Social Media is an official affiliate of the WWE Shop. Whether you want merchandise from the original Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, or the Hall of Famers, the New World Order, or from WrestleMania itself, scan the QR code on the screen or go to suds-media.com/wrestling merch, and it gives us a commission to help our show. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Vinny Apicella. I am the host and creator of Suds and Sports Circle Media. We are finally getting to the point where we're able to start to release some of the footage and interviews that we have from our 26-hour podcastathon. And unfortunately, we did lose a lot of it, but I'm going to release what I have. This first episode is our interview with both Kyle Lowder and Erik Nelson. They did overlap a little bit, so that's why we're releasing them together. This podcastathon was done on November 16th to the 17th for 26 hours to benefit Samantha's friends. Don't worry about the QR code in the link or in the video. If you're watching the video, don't worry about that because that QR code does not work. However, if you do want to donate, reach out to me, leave a comment, shoot me a DM on Twix at Suds Media, and we could get you that information, or just go to samanthasfriends.org and they can help you out as well. Here's our first interview. Me, Angela, and Kim all interviewing first Kyle Lowder, and then Erik Nelson jumps in afterwards. To our podcastathon, Kim. We're waiting on Kyle Lowder. We're waiting on Kyle Lowder and Erik Nelson to come in. They are our first guests, and they should be here anytime now. Yep, we just have Kyle coming in. I'm going to go ahead and add Kyle to the stage. Mr. Lowder, how are you today?
Good. How you doing?
Mr. Lowder.
Kyle,
Pleasure to speak with you today.
Thanks for having me in here. Sorry, I want my audio to go through here, so just give me a second.
Yep, no problem.
as long as you need. We got 26 hours.
Oh, good Lord.
Well, we're down to 25 now.
Oh, okay. Time flies when you're talking about soap operas.
I don't
Very
know.
true.
You can hear me okay, correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then the audio, I don't know what's going on here. I think the audio was going through here before, but now it's not. Okay, hello there.
Welcome to our first ever podcastathon to benefit Samantha's friends. And for those of you that are just tuning in now, the QR code up in the right-hand corner will allow you to donate to the Suds Media PayPal, which all the money will be going to Samantha's friends afterwards. But Kyle, welcome. How are you today?
I'm doing
Besides
great.
the audio situation.
Yeah, well, as long as you can hear me, that's all I care about. It is a very, very cold yet beautiful morning up here in the mountains in Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
I just got back from a walk around the lake with my dog, and yeah, absolutely gorgeous. But you know, winter is coming, as they say. It was 19 degrees when I woke up this morning.
Wow. It's warmer in Boston.
Wow.
It's warmer in Chicago too.
I was going to say we're in the 60s in Boston right now. It's insane.
In the 60s?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's sunny and 60s outside. It's crazy.
Yeah. 52 here.
Let me see if I can make this bigger. No, that's not it. What is it? It wants me to download the app, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. There. Hold on, let me get my camera right here. There we go. Okay, I just wanted to see you guys in your faces. You were like this little box, and it's like, download the app. I'm like, I don't want to download the app. You know, it's interesting. I was just talking yesterday with a meteorologist on the morning show, and I was talking about how I grew up in New York, and you know, it's about 3 hours south of Boston. Mm-hmm. And growing up, snow was a very common thing. And so I grew up about 30 miles north of Manhattan in Westchester County. So as the crow flies, you know, it's about a 45-minute, but just above the Bronx, basically. But snow is a very common thing growing up. We'd have snow days. It was a thing. It snowed in the Northeast.
There were times we had to have our jackets over our snow jackets over our costumes for Halloween.
Yes.
That was me in Buffalo when I was growing up. It's like, yeah, okay, Halloween costume, sure, but here, put your coat on.
Yes, and then also we were talking about what prompted it was they opened like a holiday ice skating rink, and in the area here, and I was like, I grew up, playing hockey and skating on the local pond because it froze over like clockwork every single year. And I was talking to my brother who still lives in that area. I think it was like last winter or something, and he's like, Opperman's Pond, which is what it is called. He said Opperman's has not frozen over in like a decade. Nobody skates on that thing anymore because it's not frozen, and snow in the Northeast is like rare. I remember it snowed in New York last winter a year ago, and it was like a massive headline, like snow in New York, and I'm going, what is going on? It's terrible.
The past few years, we don't usually get snow up here until like January. It's been like nothing.
It's sad. It really is sad. I don't even want to make this, because it's not a political conversation, but climate change is a thing. I mean, come on. The proof is in the pudding.
It is.
The proof is in the pudding. It is.
Yeah.
It used to be like clockwork, from the early 80s, all the way up until I graduated high school in the late 90s, of living in the Northeast. It's like November comes in, it's cool, it's crisp, and then winter comes, and it's snow blankets the landscape all winter long. And everything we just talked about. And it's 60 degrees in Boston, and it's, almost Thanksgiving.
It's crazy.
I hate it.
I'm 50, so I hate snow. I like to see that first snow falling. And then I'm like, I can't live like this, because then you got to shovel it. You got to clean off your car. You got to get off the stairs. Then you got to walk the dogs in it. I have 2 little dogs. So if there's too much snow, it's over them. They're like tiny. So I'm like, I'm over it. As soon as it happens. But it's been nothing.
I have to admit, you're so right about that, because again, growing up there, when it snowed, as cool as it was to have a snow day and have school canceled and whatnot, that meant that my brothers and I had to go outside and shovel everything. Of course, driving around, and it's no fun. I mean, I don't have to worry about that up here in the mountains. We had our first snowfall up here a couple weeks ago, and then it snowed again this week, but it's just teetering on that like 33, 34 degrees. So it'll stick, but much. Then it will kind of melt. But there's like a little remnants of it here left. But I would say in a good couple weeks, maybe a month, not even, is when it really snows, and then it stays all the way till like April. So, you're right. It is a thing. It is kind of a pain in the butt.
And then, I'm in the city, so it gets disgusting.
Yeah, that's the thing. When it snows in cities like Boston, New York, or any kind of metro area, it's not pretty, because it's just brown and slushy.
It's exactly. It's gross, and they plow it into the on the corners of everything, so all the kids' bus stops are iced out. So it's like, God,
I know.
No, but what's so much fun is the black ice too that you slip on. Like you're walking outside, and then all of a sudden, I can't tell you how many times I've wiped out just outside of my apartment.
Oh man, this is when all the funny memes. Hopefully nobody's actually hurt, but this is when all the funny memes on the internet come with people like sliding down their driveways. Because they can't, like, it's a slope driveway, and they're standing up, but their body is just kind of slowly down, or cars just like slowly drifting down.
Yeah. I admit, I'm a sucker for snow right around Christmas time, Christmas through New Year's, and then after that, I can be done with it. After that, it can go away.
I know. I think it's because I lived in LA for so long, 23 years or so, 23, 24 years, and obviously that was not a thing, and I always loved traveling to like I said, my brother's house in New York, or my parents lived in Missouri, and what have you, and you'd have snow around the holidays. And you're right, it's a great point. It's almost, snow with the holidays is kind of synonymous, and you do like to see that. But you're right, when you're in a climate where it's for months and months and months, you're talking December through March or April, after a while you're like, okay, enough. But again, it's pretty to look at. It creates great vistas, but
We always have a local pool because there's a spot at one of the high schools where they plow like the driveways or whatever. So there's this big pile, and it's when is it the last of it going to melt? And people put in their guesses. But then I take the dogs out, and also, I take the dogs out, and they're looking at me like I did this, the snow. Because I'm like,
yes.
And I'm going to take them out. And I'm like, we have to go out. They're like, why did you do this then? Why?
Oh my God. Yeah,
like, my parents have a Yorkie. Yeah, same deal.
My dog loves pain. I mean, he's bigger. He's an 80-pound golden retriever. So he loves
So your dog is nice and good. I have a Chihuahua and then a half pug, half Chihuahua.
Oh my God, what does that look like? That sounds adorable.
The most adorable dog you have ever seen in your life. He really is, which is a good thing because he's also a little terror and a jerk. Here, I'll try to grab him over on the bed.
Now we got to
see him.
He's so cute.
Yeah, we go from my dog swimming in Lake Tahoe all summer long, which is his favorite thing to do ever. And then right around this time of year, it's literally happening this morning. He's confused as to why he can't jump in the lake, and it's very sad to see him so confused because he's like, well, this is when we swim. This is when I jump in and I fetch the tennis ball. And oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right? He has the pug face, but it's not smushed.
Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me.
Seriously, he's the cutest dog I've ever seen in my life. And he's not like vicious, but he's
look at him. Oh my God, he's so sweet.
He's got a personality. He's got a bit of a little attitude, a little
personality.
Oh God,
yeah. His name is Bear.
Bear?
And it was ironic.
Wow, he's something else. He's so cute.
And he's a little purse dog.
I can't stand it. Oh my God. Oh
yeah, this is what I'm saying. All right, go ahead. He wants to go back up on the bed.
This is when I hate the fact that my building doesn't allow pets. It kills me. Now I have to go back to see my family in order to be around the animals. So
yeah, I didn't have a dog for years, but I was getting my fill, with my family and friends. They all had pets. But when I moved up north here, I just have such a weird schedule doing the morning show. And, I'd get up at 3:00 in the morning and work till 9, and then I'm done for the entire day. And, my daughter's of an age now where she's got a life of her own. She's busy with school and then soccer and then a social life. She's busy during the week from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. So I don't really see her much at all, if at all, during the week or what have you. And I'm like, we were joking around one day. She's like, Dad, you either need a girlfriend or a dog. And needless to say, I went with a dog.
Good choice.
Yeah.
So I'm virtually undateable right now because of my schedule. I go to bed at like 7:00 at night.
I know the feeling. I work in a bakery, so I go to bed at 6 or 7, and I'm up at 2 or 3. So yeah, I know the feeling.
Oh my God, you understand my plight.
Yeah.
It's a weird lifestyle. It's a weird lifestyle. It is
because, and the funny part is, like, I'll get up around, like, if I'm going in at 4, I'll get up at 2, and I'll do whatever, and I'll take the dog out so that he goes to the bathroom and everything. But then he'll still wake my wife up at 4:30, especially after the time change, so that he can eat, because he doesn't understand that it's now 4:30 instead of 5:30.
I think everybody's got a story with that. It's so bizarre when that happens. I remember, like, I was with the daylight savings time thing. I was so happy when I got that extra hour. Just what was it, like a few weeks ago?
Fall back, yeah.
It's so sad how I hang on to every hour, every half hour, every minute of sleep with this job. It's hilarious. Yeah, but it was a little confusing for my dog as well with that whole thing. Yeah. I don't know. Some people are talking about abolishing that situation.
They've been talking about it.
I've heard that
years.
too.
Yeah.
And I just don't really understand.
That's been
make it,
decades.
because don't some places like try and opt out or not?
Arizona is the only state that opts out.
Yeah. Arizona's just like, no, we're not doing that.
Like, how does that work? That just mystifies me so much. It's like,
okay, you're Arizona, and this is what time it is, and that's how it
6 months of the year, Arizona is on Mountain Time, and then they're back to like LA time. That's how I remembered it. Where they'd be an hour ahead for like 6 months of the year, and then we'd have the same time for it was kind of weird.
So bizarre, so weird.
I don't get it. I love your bay backdrop behind you. I just noticed that. That's really fun.
Thank you. Yeah, hides the view of my tiny little home office. But yeah, no, represent the show, right?
Seriously, how many seasons are they in now?
They're on their 9th, I believe.
Are they 9 already?
Yeah.
Yeah, because 8's been released and 9 is currently what's being worked on.
That's crazy.
Crazy stuff.
So happy for them. I mean, that show just took off. So happy for them. I mean, what are they on, like 40 Emmys or something like that?
I think so. This background's a little bit. I think it says like 23, but yeah, I think that number's a little inaccurate now.
That's crazy. No, I've known Christoph and Gregory for a long time now. I'm just so happy for them. They just crush it.
Having the opportunity to meet them at the Samantha's Friends event was amazing. That was so
cool.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah. Two of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, really.
Oh my gosh, just lovely to chat with and just speak about, just chatting about soaps and nerding out about that it was awesome. It was so cool and just so talented, so much talent.
Very much so. Very much so. No, I'm looking forward to getting back to Samantha's Friends. It's one of my favorite events of the year by far.
I mean, I've only been to 2. And I want to go to more. I mean, it just honestly just a lovely experience all around. And heck, I was sitting at brunch and I got to bid on some cool items, and there were dogs, and it was just this is great. What
you know what I love about them? It truly embodies the title, like Samantha's Friends. I was at the original one. God, what was that? 18 years ago, 20, something like that. Maybe it was 20. I've lost count. I haven't gone every year. There was a few years I couldn't make it or what have you. But the point I'm trying to make is from the inception of it all the way to today, I see some of the same faces that I feel like they are friends now because I've known them and seen them for almost 2 decades. And it seems like everybody who attends the events, it truly is like everybody knows each other and everybody's, it's a chance for everybody to catch up again. You're seeing each other like every 6 months or so. And it truly is like Samantha's Friends. Everybody just has a blast and a great time. And, from my side of things, I don't really do many events much anymore. I used, when I was younger, I didn't mind traveling all the time and doing them. And I still try to get out for the ones, that for a good cause, like Samantha's Friends and things like that. But I've had a lot of experience. And again, I say this with all due respect across the board. Everybody does the best they can, but I really think that Alice and her team, they really put together a solid event.
Absolutely.
In terms of how they take care of us when we come in, and then everybody who attends the event as well. It is well organized. It's airtight. Everybody has such a blast. They raise a lot of money for really good causes every single year, and it's a joy to be a part of. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the first time going, I went down with a friend of mine, and we were just like, we weren't really sure what to expect, and we wound up just having just the loveliest experience down there, and everything just, the dinner the night or the kind of mingling, getting a chance to chat and get to know people, and then the next day having the brunch, the big chair. It was just, it's a lovely, well organized, fun time, and you're just guaranteed that. And I keep telling Vinny he's got to get down there. His turn.
That's my plan, is to get down there within the next year for one of the events, because it seems like a great event. And I mean, who doesn't love animals and dogs? And yeah.
And everybody's really cool that attends. I think they instituted, it's only been a few years now that they instituted the Saturday night VIP cocktail party. And I think what's really cool about that is again, it's just another opportunity to raise more money for these great causes and charity. But on top of that, it really provides an up close and personal meet and greet and mingling with with us that we get to attend, because Sunday, again, and I really need to emphasize this, I think Alice still does a great job on Sunday with making it very personal with the actors and celebrities that attend, where we get a chance to really get up close and personal with the guests and the people that attend the event. But I think Saturday night was just another way. I think it's the best of both worlds. A, it's another opportunity to raise more money for these causes. But B, that really is a great chance to get a chance to chat with the guests and the people that attend. So it's not, because Sunday is very, it's a well-oiled machine. They have a lot to get to in terms of the event and everything.
Yeah,
Saturday
it's
is
a
just
packed
kind of,
agenda on Sunday. They got, just,
they have a lot to do. Saturday night, it's
yeah.
like you got like 3 or 4 hours just to chill and just have
Yep.
conversations.
Yep.
And I think it's really, really fun.
Yeah.
And a great idea it's relevant in terms of the grand scheme of, the 2 decades that Samantha's Friends has been around. It really is a relatively new thing they've done. I think it's only been the past like year, maybe 4 years max that they've done that. Maybe 5. I don't know.
Well, I had the opportunity even at the mingling VIP, the most recent event that they had. I was chatting football with my friend and Matthew Ashford and Carson Boatman, and I was just like, "This is surreal right now, and this is awesome. This is so cool." Like,
God.
just getting a chance to chat with lovely, talented, awesome people.
I
And
know.
it was so rewarding and so much fun. And yeah,
Honestly, it's really cool
definitely.
for me to see. To be honest, it's really cool for me as well now because, I haven't been on Days of Our Lives for a hot minute, and to see my old castmates and friends, like Matt
Yeah.
Ashford, who I hadn't seen in years, and all of a sudden I see him, attending the event, and my God, Matt and I go back 20 plus years working together, and he's one of my favorite people, and again, I hadn't seen him in literally years. And again, I see him on the poster, and then we attend the event, and it's just a great chance for me to catch up with him as well. We have to be careful of, like, here we are at this cocktail event where we have to mingle with the fans and the people who are attending. And Matt and I are off in the corner having cocktails, just catching up. And I'm like, we need to go mingle with other people. But that's really fun for me as well. Like Paul Telfer, who's a great friend of mine. I remember when I hadn't seen him in like a year after I left the show, and then he was there, and I'm just like, oh my God, Paul! And we get a chance to catch up. It's really cool for me as well.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I know.
I don't know. It was cool. I admit, the first one I went to, I was very just kind of like a little overwhelmed, a little bit starstruck, a little bit just like, what is happening right now? Second time I went, a little bit more like familiar with some of the people that were there, obviously, and I just felt a little bit more at ease. Like, the starstruck kind of went away a little bit.
A little bit.
So
And
Julie and
Ari Zucker, who played Nicole on Days of Our Lives, is going to be coming this May
Yes.
as well, which is really huge for this event.
Oh my gosh, yeah. No, I noticed. Yeah, she was on the guest list. Super cool for that.
I know a lot of people are really looking forward to seeing her, and she, it's kind of rare because she doesn't do a lot of these things, and it's really great. I love that she's coming out to this one because Alice was saying ticket sales like jumped when they saw her picture on the poster. So I'm thrilled about that.
Yeah. No, I'm not 100% sure I'm going to be able to attend. Might have some. I don't know. I was looking at my calendar, and of course,
Oh, no, listen,
everything kind of pops up and gets in the way, But I'm gonna
know.
try and make it work. If I can, I'm absolutely gonna try and make it work.
No, we're just happy that you guys have been able to attend when you can. Obviously, it's easier for the people who live in the. What I love is the people that live, kind of in that immediate area, or maybe like 2-3 hour drive max away. They come to every single event, and I think that is so special and so cool. It'd be easy for them to say like, we've been and it's fun, but we're good. They live in the area, like I said, maybe a 2-3 hour max drive away. And they're like, no, this is a thing that we come to every time, we want to support Alice and company and her team and Samantha's friends. And I see the same faces who are like Sarasota, Bradenton, Tampa Bay, Florida locals who come to every single one, and they don't have to do that. And I know Alice is grateful for that. I'm certainly grateful for that. I think it's really cool that they do that.
Yes.
Very
Definitely.
cool. Yeah.
And hey, it was my first time in Sarasota. The first time I went to one of those events. I mean, I'd been to Tampa when I was a little kid, but I don't get down to Florida too frequently. So I admit, though, the humidity in my hair did not necessarily agree.
Oh my God.
It's
so funny every time, especially both events. They have them in May and September, but especially the May one in the springtime, which kind of get into late spring, getting into summer. It is hilariously humid. Like
walk out. I was like, what was the point of doing any styling? There was really no need.
There's always this moment where I get, off the airplane, get into the airport, get down to baggage claim, and then walk outside to get to the car that, takes us to to Sarasota from the airport, walk outside the terminal, and then you just hit with just a
It just
wall.
hits you.
It's hilarious. And it's been, I grew up in New York. That's, it's humid in New York in the summer times,
Yeah.
but nothing compared to Florida. It's been between, over 2 decades in Los Angeles and now in Northern California, the mountains. It is so dry here, almost single digit humidity. It's not even like safe for your eyeballs up here. They just like start to dry up in your, but the comparison, the juxtaposition between going from here to there, walking outside for the first time, and it's like hard to breathe. It's so funny. It's
Well, I wish that they would move an event maybe to February, because I remember when I first moved to Chicago and there was this polar vortex situation that was happening. And my boss actually said, listen, don't commute into work today, because if you're outside for longer than 15 minutes, your eyelashes will freeze off. And I was just like, I'm coming from Buffalo. I'm used to snow. I'm not used to eyelash freezing off cold level temperatures.
Buffalo,
so, I don't know.
God, I remember, geez, I went to college for a year before I left to go start my career in LA. But, you spend a winter in Syracuse or Buffalo, Rochester, you get up like central and the northwest New York State. There's no joke. When you get some of those polar, what are they called? The polar vortex is another one. There's like an Arctic something bomb that comes down. I think bomb cyclone.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Literally
Sharknado.
called a bomb cyclone.
Yeah.
That's when temperatures get down to like dangerously unsafe levels of like not wind chill, but regular 40 below.
Yeah.
And then you were talking about Chicago, you get that and Buffalo, you get the lake effect snow.
Yep. I mean, I'm used, but it's like Buffalo, I was used to the snow. I was not used to the level of bone chilling cold once I hit Chicago. That was a rude awakening for me.
You get the wind there. The wind.
Get the wind there. We're known for that. That's part of the name. So, but I don't know. It would be nice if maybe, I don't know, we can try and bump one of the events to like a February, March, when it's just kind of miserable to be in like a cold climate and you just want to be down in Florida.
Wait, we were just obviously Boston, Buffalo. Vinny, where do you live?
I'm in Connecticut, so I'm right up in New England. It's the same thing where it's in the 50s right now, and I remember a number of years ago, Christmas Eve, I was walking around with shorts on, but I'll wear shorts in the 50s, so it's not bad for me.
I was going to say I shovel in shorts.
I love Connecticut. What part of Connecticut are you in?
Right south of Hartford.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so but I've been all over Connecticut. My family lives in the New Haven area.
Okay,
so it's I've been all over.
Yeah, growing up in Westchester County, I spent a lot of time in the Northeast, everywhere from Boston, Connecticut, and New York, and everywhere in between. Yeah, very familiar with that area. Very familiar.
Yeah.
So my daughter just moved from Boston to Chicago in September.
Oh, she did?
And my son moved a couple of years ago. From here to Chicago, and everybody told her, it's going to be cold. She's like, because she doesn't drive, so she was always on the T and stuff. She's like, I'm used to it. They're like, no, you are not used to it. You have no idea what you're going to be in for. So it's interesting because you think she'll be fine. So
Where in the are they in the city or are they out in the
my son's out in the suburbs. My daughter's in the city.
Nice. Yeah, I'm pretty close to downtown
by the water. So
nice.
Yeah. She's
No, it's cool.
I got a quick question for you guys. I was just thinking about this. I had no idea that this was like a marathon. How are you guys switching out with anybody, or how does this work?
Well,
I'm not really sure, Vinny. I'm gonna defer to you here.
Well, I mean, Angela and I are going to take the bulk of it. We are going to have some other podcasters come on to give us a break at some point, and it might only be a half hour or so. But I mean, I came from the hotel industry where being up for 30 hours straight is nothing new for me. And Angela's had marathons.
I was a Marine. I'm a nanny. I have 5 kids. I had a 27-kid daycare. I can stay up.
You were a Marine?
I was, yes.
Oh, God. Thank you. Thank you for your service. My goodness. I mean that.
I didn't know.
Really? I never told you that?
No.
Oh my God, and that's incredible, Angela.
We're going to welcome a fifth guest onto the stage, and we're going to welcome Mr. Erik Nelson in
exciting
as well.
Hey
What's
guys,
up, Erik?
how we doing, everyone?
Doing
Good.
good.
Hey
How about
Kyle,
yourself?
brother.
Erik, nice to see you, my friend.
You too. You too.
How are things, buddy?
Good. You know, hoping whatever you guys need to accomplish today with this happens tenfold. That's what my hope is. Are we here trying to raise awareness or money, or what's the objective today?
All of it.
All
of the above. Yes, we're here to the QR code in the upper right hand corner does allow you to donate to our PayPal. That'll anything collected will go directly to Samantha's friends after our podcastathon, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking to support this great cause now that we're here for now that we're getting into the holidays, and Samantha's friends working with animals, they're definitely the least fortunate, especially service animals who are there for helping those people who have who need them. So that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to raise awareness and also raise some money to help out Samantha's friends.
Awesome.
Yes.
So Vinny and I are going to be here for 26 hours. Well, what? 24 and a half more.
24 and a half more, yeah.
Yeah, we got this.
Unbelievable. Well,
Yeah.
I want to thank you guys. I want to thank you guys for doing this, like, for real. Thank you so much. This is for helping us out and Samantha's friends and everything, and staying up. Erik, before you just got on, we were talking about the fact that Angela was a Marine, and I'm just so impressed by that. Seriously, how long ago?
It was a long time ago. I went in right out of high school.
Okay.
And it was funny.
Still.
I was an Air Force brat. Something like over 80% of military brats either marry in or enlist themselves, because it's a different life.
Yeah, over 80%.
Insane.
Interesting. Yeah. So it just becomes kind of like ingrained in your DNA.
Yeah, it really is.
Okay.
Yeah. So
thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you.
And happy belated Veterans Day.
Veterans Day, yeah. It's funny because I always feel like I did more of service as because I spent more time as a brat, obviously, because I, only did 4 in the Marines, but I was married, then I was married to an Air Force guy, and yeah.
So were you all over the country, all over the world? Like,
well, I mean, in my whole life, we moved.
That's what I mean. You're kind of your whole experience in the military.
England. I mean, I'm from Boston, England, Texas, California. I spent a lot of time, my childhood, a lot of it was Edwards Air Force Base in California.
Wow.
Out in the desert, so we were out there for a long time, and then, Pendleton and was mine. And then, we were in England, we were, Florida.
Angela, remind me where this is like, I could have just waited to Google this off camera, but I'm going to embarrass myself. I've obviously heard of Edwards. It's so famous. Where is Edwards Air Force Base located?
It's in the Mojave. It's right by Lancaster, Palmdale.
That's what. Okay.
Yes.
That's what it is.
The space shuttle lands there.
That's right. Because, driving to and from Lake Tahoe back down to Southern California, I drive, it's the like the 395 before I pick up 14, which takes me down there. I always see like military aircraft flying in that area, and I'm like, is Edwards? Yeah. I was like, not Edwards, but I'm like, is there a base around here somewhere? But that makes sense. Total sense.
Yeah, they test. It's the test pilot school is there.
Got it.
And they test all the new planes there as well, and the space shuttle lands there, and it's
What a
life. Middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
We had some fun times growing up on that base because it was just so expansive in the desert.
Yeah.
And as long as they weren't getting noise complaints, the MPs didn't care what we did. They were like, whatever. And we talk about it. We actually have a Facebook group called I Grew Up on Edwards Air Force Base, and it's people from all ages because it was, my graduating class had less than 100 kids in it.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's a big base as far as area and stuff. And we're like, how did we not die? We used to ride our bikes because nobody had a car. We used to ride our bikes out into the desert, light barrel fires, get drunk, and the boys would bring their BB guns because the barrel fires would attract rattlesnakes.
Oh my God.
I don't know how we didn't die.
Oh
because
my
all you're
God.
going to do to a rattlesnake with a BB gun is make it mad.
Wow.
And we talk all the time. We're like, how did we not die?
That
But we had
that's
guardian
something that
angels,
I have never
obviously.
heard before. You start a barrel fire, attract a deadly rattlesnake, and then
Because
try to shoot it with a BB gun.
the heat. They're cold-blooded, so they're attracted to the heat.
Oh my God.
And yeah, and we were young, stupid kids. I don't know how we didn't die.
That's outrageous.
You know, I've got two little ones now. I've got a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and I'm constantly like, they get into like little things in trouble, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if my kids do anything like I did growing up, like there's no way they can survive. So now I'm just like this like parent like praying like, but we all came out okay somehow. We all did stuff like that too. And
I told my kids, you know, because I have 5 kids, and I used to tell them, I'm like, believe me, there is nothing you're going to get past me.
That's it.
I am the generation that grew up. We went out and we had to be home by the time the street lights came on. There were no cell phones, and we were just out there's nothing you are going to get past me because I did it. And you know, I had to fool my mother way more. And you're not going to do it.
And Kim, quick shout out. I like the Bay background. Looks good.
Oh, yeah. Kyle said the same thing.
I do. Yeah. I know, Eric. I said the same thing as a Kim representing. I love that.
I know. I feel like I'm failing right now. I need to get one of these.
Have to disguise, you know, my
Kim and I,
is a mess right
Kim
now.
and I actually
put something up.
Kim and I actually do a podcast, Dockside at the Bay, where we're reviewing all of the Bay show, you know, episode by episode weekly.
Awesome. Thank you for
right
doing
now
that.
we're in season 4.
So cool.
That's really
Eric,
cool.
I still have the video pinned to my profile on Twitter of the little video that we got to make with Gregory and Mike Manning, and that was incredible. That was so cool.
Oh, amazing. We'll have
Eric, how many seasons of the Bay have you done again?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know. Like, I had just finished All My Children and went to LA to present at the Emmys, and All My Children had just gotten canceled, and this was 2013 or 2012 or 13, and Gregory and Chris
sounds right. Yeah,
beelined it over to me, and they're like, "Love you from All My Children. We just started this, you know, web series not too long ago called The Bay," and at the time, like nobody was doing web shows, and he's like, "Are you ever in LA?" I was like, "Well, funny thing is, my show in New York just got canceled. I'm moving to LA next month." And so I started the Bay then. So since 2013, I guess.
Oh, wait. So were you an OG cast member?
Not like very OG, but like one like online season in, and then I think I joined.
Wow. Okay.
Wow, I don't even think they aired. I don't even think you can find the episodes that I wasn't in anywhere. So technically, to the world, yes, I am an OG.
Okay, I didn't know you were there from basically the get-go, dude. Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
and it was just always this little engine that, you know, kept chugging along, and each year would grow and grow, and cooler people were coming into it, and next thing you know, we're filming internationally, and we went to Belgium and filmed in London and Puerto Rico, and it just like became this huge, you know, over the years just kept growing and growing, and it's like you just never know. Like it's so cool to like see something come from just this idea of like a web show, and then it like just built up into this thing. It's insane.
Well, you know, it's funny because like All My Children, the revival that you were part of, it's like they were trying to kind of do the web thing, you know. But I think it was almost a little bit too. It was
ahead
too
of its
soon.
time.
They were a little bit before their time.
It was. Nobody knew what Hulu was when Hulu bought the show, and I was telling all my family to like subscribe to this online thing where I'm like, trust me, we're gonna watch TV on here one day, and they're like, I don't think so, and had it happened like 5 years later, would have been a different story.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up on All My Children, so when it got canceled, obviously, like on ABC, you know, I found out it was getting reincarnated and going someplace else. I was like telling my mother, I'm like, this is so exciting, like they're bringing it back, and just a couple years down the road, I feel like it could have maybe, you know, had more of a little bit more longevity to it, but it just wasn't ready yet.
As a matter of fact, Kim and I both said that the character of Daniel that you portrayed has had the best evolution of a character from when you started out the role to to where we are currently. It's absolutely fantastic.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I was so grateful to Gregory for giving me that storyline. Because it was like he just started out as this really troubled kid, and you're like, why is he so troubled? Like, what has he been through? And then he just like unravels this deep-seated storyline of inner pain and acceptance of himself and all these other things. And I was just like, oh, I've always wanted to do something like that. This is great.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Hey guys, really quick, I'm going to pass the baton to Mr. Nelson here. I got to go pick up my daughter from practice.
Yeah.
So, but listen, I want to thank you all for helping us out.
Yeah.
And thank you.
It's a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And Erik, I'll see you in May, my friend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dude.
Can't wait, brother.
Have a good one.
Take care.
Take care.
Thank you, Kyle.
Now
all right.
All right, you guys talk Bay. I'm gonna go grab cream for my iced coffee because
okay,
you're gonna need it, girl. Keep it coming. Very cool. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for making this happen. I'm glad I was able to jump in.
It's Vinny's brainchild here. I'm just kind of along for the ride, but super cool that we managed to make this work and arrange it, and just it's going to great cause.
Yes.
And just getting the chance to just chat soaps and have some cool stuff happening, all in the while knowing that it's supporting something great.
Amazing. And I'm such a fan, and Samantha's Friends is just such a special organization, and
absolutely.
I want so much for them, and I hope the world continues to see what they're doing in such a wonderful way, and I want them to have everything they deserve.
Same here. It's one of those things that I just kind of stumbled into. A good friend of mine, who I kind of met through Twitter, through soap chat in general. She had, she finds out about all like the Zoom events and things like that. She always tries to keep tabs on different soap related sort of things. And she's just like, yeah, there's this event that happens down in Sarasota, and, maybe we can go together. And I was just like, yeah, why not? And this was, the first event that I had attended, and like first soap event ever that I'd attended, and I was just like, okay, I'm a little starstruck. I'm a little nervous, but this is so exciting. And just, it was a lovely weekend, and we had an amazing time. And I was just like, yeah, I want to do this again. This is fun. This worked out.
It's so cool. And I'll tell you why Alice and Samantha and all of them are so special. And this organization is just unlike any others. As actors and such, we do so many of these things, and we appearances and charity things and events and whatever we can utilize our platform to kind of help in a way. But what Samantha and Alice and all of them do that is so unique and special is they don't just focus on this organization. They really focus on the actors and the guests that they're bringing in. And I, from day one, felt like I was family. Like they support us. They take care of us. They, I've never done at a charity event where they're texting me afterwards and, just sending you love. Thank you so much. Yeah. Like, really invested in our lives and our careers. And so it's very unique. And I wasn't told to say that. Like, this is a genuine response because I genuinely believe in what they're doing and them. And they're very special people.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like, the event itself is just, it's like, it's just 2 days of just being able to like, get to know really cool people, really cool, creative, talented people. And then even at the brunch, everything, they've got a full agenda that day too. But they keep it running like clockwork. Everything just goes so smoothly. And it's just like, it's a lovely time. So, looking forward, hoping that I can attend the next one. But if not, I've told Vinny he needs to go.
Come on, Vinny.
Gotta get down there.
Yes, I do. I have not been yet. Honestly, it's like I've always been a soap fan, but I had just gotten into the soap podcasting. I want to say maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So I really hadn't known about Samantha's Friends until I met Kim. And then she was telling me how she went to the event last year and then moving forward. So, it's, I've always been more of a wrestling fan. So one of my bucket list items was happened this past year when I went to WrestleMania. So now I can check off bucket list items for soaps, going to some Method's Friends events, or going to, a GH in Nashville, or, whatever. So, yeah, my goal is to get there either next, in 2025, either May or September.
Where do you live? Where's home for you?
I live in Connecticut.
Okay.
So it's
part?
not right just south of Hartford.
Okay. We filmed the All My Children reboot in Hartford, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I know Prospect Park was in, it was Connecticut based, a Connecticut based company. So that was really cool. And I watched all the episodes of All My Children and One Life to Live, as they were on Hulu. And, I was mad when they canceled it, because being somebody that was more into streaming, I had watched GH on streaming all the time. So when they brought One Life to Live and All My Children back exclusively on Hulu, I was excited.
Yeah.
But I guess again, it was just ahead of its time.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, because like I said, All My Children, I grew up in an ABC soap household. My mom was into All My Children and GH. And when I was old enough to start, okay, so like when I was a little kid home on summer break, mom would be like, all right, you go do your thing, you go take a nap, you go do something, mom's time now, I got to watch my shows. But then I was like 12, 13, and she's like, you're old enough now, you can just sit and watch with me. And so that was her, it was like those were our soaps. And then when All My Children got canceled, I found out, I was doing a semester abroad in Wales, actually. I was in college. And my dad called me, and I was just like, okay, you're calling me. Is there an emergency? What happened? And he basically said, well, yeah, your soap just got canceled. And I'm like, what?
Wow.
Like, I hadn't been watching it. I'd been kind of removed from it when I was in school and everything like that. But I was just, it was a gut punch. It was just, and then, but to find out it was going to, come back, I was just like, I hope that they can get, and it looked like, because they had gotten back so many of the original, they got back so many big names, and I was really just, I was so excited about it, and, just where they were going to try and take everything. But yeah, back then it wasn't quite ready, got, but
it's crazy. You never know. It's so,
yeah,
to
but
try to
at least GH, my mom still, I don't know, she's a little bit more into Hallmark now than she is into soaps, but she does still tune into GH and everything like that. And obviously Vinny's kind of dialed into that soap as well. So
So Erik, I have to ask you.
It's me in the
I do have to ask you, because I do see, you've got a fantastic filmography, and what you've been doing. But going from a soap opera, and I know The Bay isn't a traditional soap opera in the sense of, daily episodes and everything, but how is it going from a web series like The Bay to another show like Blue Bloods, or NCIS, or 1883? What's the difference in filming?
Well, the main difference is the amount of time you get to spend on filming an episode, right?
Mhm.
So in our formula for The Bay, and daytime formula, The Bay's a little different than most daytimes in that it does get a little extra time, whereas on All My Children, for instance, we were doing 100 pages a day.
Yeah.
And so I'm memorizing 30 pages of just my own dialogue a day. And it's a machine.
Yep.
The Bay, you get to spend a little more time on the episodes, but we're still moving really quickly. Like, all in all, we're probably getting like maybe 1 to 2 to 3 takes, and we move on. So you got to whip out all your tricks right away. If you're questioning the way you delivered something, it's hard to just put it aside and be like, just trust in what you did and move forward. That's definitely something you've got to learn how to put aside and compartmentalize. But for something like 1883, we're spending 2 weeks on a single episode. So we are, oftentimes spending an entire day on one scene.
Wow.
So you're really getting into the nitty gritty. We were working with 8 cameras at one time, 6 to 8 cameras. So they're everywhere. And, it allows you that moment of, okay, if I mess up, it's okay. We have time. We're going to get this thing till we all think it's perfect, which can be a blessing and a curse, because the blessing is the end product's going to be exactly what the director had in mind. It's going to
Yep.
be delivered. But the curse is sometimes then you have almost too much time to think about it, and you're kind of, drilling it into the ground a little bit. So oftentimes for me, coming from daytime, my first take is my best take. So
Yeah.
now I've got to do an entire day of the same thing again. And I'm like, guys, I'm telling you, that first one was it. Like, I just feel like I'm just nailing into a coffin right now. So it takes a little of that freshness away, but the grandiose feeling of being on a set that large is just so exciting that
I bet.
it's worth the wait, so to speak.
So cool. So
Yeah,
cool.
but it is fun. It's so much fun.
And then I do see that you were the youngest producer in history to win an Emmy.
Yeah, at 23 years old.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, and it's still holding up to this day. That was boy, I guess, I don't know, 2013 or 14. Yeah, and it's no one's been younger yet, which I didn't even know it was a thing until I got a call from a magazine or somebody wanted to do an interview, and they're like, "Congratulations!" Like, on what? Oh, the Emmy. Yeah, they're like, no, history. I'm like, history. And so then they told me, I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that was first an episode of The Bay, correct?
Yeah, yep. That was for the first season I joined.
Wow.
I was fortunate enough to be able to come on as a producer, as well as an actor. I had just produced my first film in New York, and I was like hungry to do some more producing. And Gregory, being the amazing guy that he is, and open to others like helping his creation. He was like, absolutely come on board as a producer. My wife did as well. And it was really a wonderful experience. So forever grateful for
So
that.
cool.
I know, it's kind of crazy.
That's awesome. So just to let you know, they actually, when we started our podcast, Gregory told us the original season of The Bay that predated your arrival is still on Amazon.
Oh, is it?
It is The Bay the Beginning.
So
So
wow.
It's rebranded as The Bay the Beginning. So that's where we started our podcast, and then now we're into season 4 of the actual series.
Wow. You've seen the evolution. I mean,
yes,
the difference from the
Oh, for
beginning
sure.
to where we are now, it's night and day.
Yeah.
and
Just even
I
like,
love
the
that.
filming style and just everything, it's kind of like a little bit more raw, a little bit more, just a little bit more underground, obviously, by the beginning. And then it just, obviously just transcends into you guys being able to like film internationally and do like, that must have been just a wild, incredible kind of thing to just kind of be able to just jump into, with this show. And like the Belgium, we're in like the thick of the Belgium stuff right now.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we're just kind of getting into that. But I mean, that must have been just like an incredible trajectory to be on with the show.
Oh, it
Just
really
seeing you guys
was.
evolve
And
like
shooting
that.
in Europe with Ron Moss was the
Right.
craziest thing ever, because
Oh my
he
gosh.
is, I mean, he's a superstar here, but there in Europe, he's like, the top of the top. And so we couldn't go
Yeah.
anywhere. They were literally chanting his name in the streets of Belgium when they saw who it was. Like Chris and I were looking at each other like, this is insane right now.
So
But
cool.
it really was. I mean, he was treated like royalty over there, rightfully so. I mean, he's just,
Yeah.
such a legendary career, but it was really cool seeing his draw, especially in Europe, and getting to be there to witness it was
Oh,
unbelievable.
I bet. Yeah.
It really
No,
was.
So
yeah. It just kind of. Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I was going to ask you, what are you working on now?
I actually just dropped a clothing company. We just launched November 7th. It's called Stockyard Supply Co.
Okay.
I put the tag on my little down on my video. But we are a Western men's apparel line, and we are so excited to finally be launched. It's something I've been working on for a while now. The Western fan base and culture and its people have been so good to me since 1883, and it's such a an important part of my life now is Western culture. And so I wanted to kind of give back to that community in a way. So I've created this clothing line, co-founded it with a good friend, and we're just so excited to get that thing out there. And it's been blowing up. And this next Samantha's Friends coming up, we'll be auctioning off some items from it as well. So I'm excited about that.
Good to know.
But then on the work front, it's been, I mean, that is the work front, but on the filming front, it's been a very, very, very busy past few months. I've got a bunch of films that I'm working on. I leave for Spain next week, where I'm going to go shoot for a few weeks in Bilbao, Spain, which is right outside San Sebastian on the northern coast. And that is a very, very cool movie. They haven't announced the film yet, so I can't quite say what it is. But if you follow me on Instagram at Erik Nelson Official, I will be posting like behind the scenes and, you know, once I'm there and all that fun stuff of what's going on in the project. Yeah, you know, because of 1883, I've been getting a lot of Western film offers, which has been so much fun because I love the genre, but I'm also trying to be selective. So I'm not, you know, just John Wayne only doing Westerns, even though I would because I love them so much. But I'm, you know, trying to make sure I'm peppering in all these other, you know, cool, fun projects. I've got a rom-com I just did in Houston last month called 40 Dates and 40 Nights with Bailey Madison and Annie Potts. And I get to, you know, very against the grain of what I've been doing in the gritty genre of Western. It's a lighthearted comedy, and I get to just make you laugh and be silly.
We need, you know, the lighthearted rom-com thing. I mean, there's so many people that are so hungry for that, you know, like that kind of like, you know, so any incarnation of those, like, you know, even on Netflix recently, they had that rom-com series that was with Kristen Bell and Adam Brody. That was just kind of like,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
felt like a movie but broken. And it's just like, you know, things like that, just like lighter, you know, kind of, I don't know, it's right up my alley. I love that stuff. So
Me too. Especially with so much, you know, craziness in the world these days. It's like, you know, to not think about much and just, you know, sit back and smile and, you know, get your heartstrings pulled a little bit. There's something to be said for that.
Absolutely.
So do you like playing different characters? Is it a challenge at all to play certain characters, like going from the character of Daniel in the Bay to something else that you're playing to another one to a Western in 1883? What kind of what kind of excitement do you get from a challenge of something new?
You know, it's funny. My wife laughs about it all the time because she says she feels like she's married to somebody new every other month. Because my characters are also drastically different. And you know, when I'm prepping and I'm working on these scripts, you know, I really try to embody as much as it as I can. And sometimes it's hard for me not to take it home, you know, at times. And, you know, when I am home and I'm not on set, I'm ingrained in watching all different movies of that genre, or, you know, just kind of immersing myself in the world and life of the character. And so it keeps it very fresh for my wife, which has been great. She laughs about it. But that's what I live for, man. You know, I came up trained in theater, and you know, so understanding the craft and really doing the homework, so to speak, and the work before you get to set, for me, is the way I was brought up in the arts. And that's what I get almost the most excitement and joy out of, is just that preparation process and learning something new and reading all the books and watching the films and, you know, just getting that creative process going. I really enjoy. So I try to find characters that are really different from others that I've done, to just stretch myself and continue to push myself. And, you know, one day, I might be tired and older and be like, I just want the easy ones, you know, let me just stick to what I'm, you know, and let me just take the easy road. But for now, I'm pushing myself as hard as I can and really having fun doing it.
Love it.
That's awesome. So how long have you been associated with Samantha's Friends?
I want to say real quick, Mike Manning, who we all know and love, very much associated with Samantha's Friends, and I just got to do a movie together in Montana, where I spent about a month shooting. It's called The Wolf and the Lamb, and it's a horror set in the 1800s. It's a horror Western, really. and we got to have a bunch of fun up there. He was in it, but he also was a producer on the project as well. And so definitely keep an eye out for The Wolf and the Lamb, because you won't recognize either one of us. I have this gnarly curly mustache and big old beard, and I walk with a cane and a top hat, and it's like such a character.
Oh man, that sounds awesome.
It is. It was so cool. And that'll, hopefully you guys will be able to see that after the new year, early next year. But definitely
Very
keep
cool.
an eye out for that if you are fans of Mike and I, because we'll get seen together in something that you've never seen us do. So
yeah, no, that sounds awesome. I can't wait. Making a note of that, because I don't know, stuff goes out of my head so fast if I don't write it down. But I am making a note.
Absolutely. And it's all, all over online. You can read about it and stuff, and there's some press releases and things, so you can kind of get a little more into it if you want.
Very cool.
You brought up something about Samantha's friends, and I cut you off, Vinny. I'm sorry.
That's right. I asked, how long have you been associated with Samantha's friends and helping them out?
So I was supposed to be at this last Samantha's friends, but work got in the way. But I was there the time before that. So about, I guess, my timeline is all off, but almost a year, I would say. And I'm signed up for a bunch of them coming forward. And, my prayer and hope is that it works with the work schedule so I can continue to show support and be there. But I've got one under my belt so far, but I'm looking forward to the next one.
Awesome.
Yes, sir. And I just realized I'm at 1 o'clock, and I'm going to have to run to another meeting.
Okay. Yeah, not a problem. We want to thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was lovely getting a chance to speak with you again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Likewise, guys. And I hope we raise a bunch of money today. And thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah, no, thank you as well for everything.
I appreciate it. I look forward to talking to you guys again soon.
All right, sounds good.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.